Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the price of Ethereum is actually trading below this important volume level. But Ethereum is still finding support along this exact moving average so far. And in just a moment in this video, I will be giving you guys my next Ethereum price targets, my Ethereum strategy, and I'll also explain the effects that this indicator has on the Ethereum price. And on top of that, I'll give you guys a quick update on the Ethereum funding rates across all of these exchanges, because this is definitely important to pay attention to. So make sure you're watching this video from start to finish so that you're not missing out on all of this valuable information. And just before we jump into it, make sure to drop a like on the video down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on so that you're not missing out on any of these future updates. It only takes a couple seconds out of your day to click that subscribe button down below, and it costs you nothing, but it seriously does help out the channel so much, and I really do appreciate all of your support. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's get straight to what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Ethereum to US dollar chart here on the 4-hour time frame. And let's just start off by saying that obviously the price of Ethereum is continuing to find some short-term support along the 21-week simple moving average. Of course, I've covered this quite a lot in recent videos here on the channel. And another moving average that's important to pay attention to for Ethereum is the 50-day exponential moving average, which is this yellow line just here. And of course, we've found major resistance along this exact moving average. So by the way, the 50-day EMA is coming in at around 3,170 approximately, and the 21-week simple moving average is coming in at around 2.8k. And once again, I've covered those exact moving averages quite a lot in pretty much all of my recent videos here on the channel, so I'm not going to repeat myself too much about these indicators in particular. So for the brand new viewers on the channel, after you finish watching this video, definitely make sure you're going back and watching one of my last two Ethereum update videos, because once again, in those videos, I talked about the significance of these exact moving averages moving forward. And now bringing out this indicator just here. This is the VPVR, which stands for the volume profile for the visible range. And it's essentially a different kind of volume indicator. So of course, we have our normal volume that I use in basically every single video here on the channel. And the regular volume indicator at the bottom of the page shows us how much value was actually transacted in a particular time period. So for example, here on the 12-hour chart, 1 bar of volume is exactly how much value was transacted within that 12-hour period. Once again, because we're on the 12-hour chart. But then the volume profile here on the right-hand side, instead of showing how much value was transacted in a particular time period, instead it shows us how much value was transacted in a particular range on the chart. And so right here, this red line is the most amount of volume that has been traded in this entire visible range on the chart right now. And right now, the most volume traded here on the visible chart for Ethereum at the moment is coming in at around 3.2k. And this is usually great at determining some short-term support or resistance levels. So obviously, the fact that we're below this level just here, that is acting as resistance. And we've already found that out with that rejection along the 50-day EMA, because the 50-day EMA is also coming in at around 3.2k. But when you're zooming out a little bit more, because you're changing the visible range here on the chart, the VPVR indicator in this case now has more price action to actually scan. For example, now that I've zoomed out a little bit here on the chart to include this lower price action down towards 1,700 US dollars, this now updates the VPVR indicator to actually give us the most traded volume sitting at around 1,900 US dollars per Ethereum. But by hiding my face cam just here, you can see exactly what's going on behind me. And what we have right now is obviously a lot of volume traded just above the current price, which is acting as resistance. And then pretty much where we are right now, the volume actually starts dropping off all the way down to this level just here, which by the way, this level is coming in at roughly around 2.4k is where it starts. So let's just draw out a support box at around that range just there. Once again, we've got a lot of volume traded at around that price range, which starts at once again around 2.4k and really goes down towards around 2.2k approximately. So what does this mean for the price of Ethereum? Well, it means that if we start breaking below this 21-week simple moving average, then that is really the last major support in the short term until those lower price targets down there. And also what's very interesting is obviously we previously formed this huge head and shoulders pattern that I have covered quite a lot on the channel recently, but measuring out the technical price target for that pattern, that technical price target is coming in at around 2.3K, just above 2.3K, which is exactly where that huge amount of volume is traded at, just down here. So basically, that is where I would expect Ethereum to go next, for as long as we break below the 21-week simple moving average first, which is currently coming in at roughly around 2.8K. And obviously, anytime we break an important level on the chart, we need to see some sort of confirmation. So what I mean by confirmation for the beginners out there is definitely some sort of spike or surge in volume as we're breaking that level. And if we're not seeing any spike or surge in volume, that is a sign to be skeptical of the current price action. And in that case, we'll definitely need to see some sort of retest of that level to confirm it as resistance, for example, if we're breaking to the downside, or of course, if we're breaking to the upside, flip it into support. That actually acts as confirmation. And you can use candle closes as confirmation of an important break, but considering the fact that this is the 21-week simple moving average, we would need to see a weekly candle close below the moving average. Right now, just checking out the weekly time frame, we've currently got around 1.5 days to go before we close this weekly candle and start the next one. So it's definitely going to be very interesting to see where this weekly candle closes, because if we hold above these important support levels, the 21-week moving average in particular, then that is actually a bullish sign looking at the bigger picture. It's only if we start breaking below these important support levels, that's obviously when we're going to continue this bearish price action moving forward over the next few weeks or so. And taking a look at the last time we actually broke below the 21-week simple moving average, which is that green line once again, that was back towards the end of June, beginning of July back here. And we basically broke below that moving average and stayed below it for around one entire month before we started seeing any sort of bullish price action later on. But something else that I've also discussed in a lot of my recent videos is obviously you have to consider that as a buying opportunity, because clearly in hindsight, that was an amazing buying opportunity. And of course, if you were on this channel at that stage in the market right there, I was telling you that that was an amazing buying opportunity and that I was buying a lot of Ethereum down at those levels. So that's something else that's important to remember as well. Even if we do see some more bearish price action, I simply see bearish price action as buying opportunities for the longer term. But of course, that's not financial advice or anything. That is just my strategy. And so far, it's been incredibly profitable. If you're looking at the daily RSI and the daily MACD, it's basically the same story as Bitcoin. If you watched my update video on Bitcoin just recently, which is of course the price oscillators being in strong downtrends on the daily time frame, showing that we do still have a lot of bearish momentum on our hands. But with that being said, these price oscillators are getting closer towards their bottoms compared to obviously the tops just here. So as I mentioned in my Bitcoin update video, I would actually expect this RSI on the daily time frame to begin bottoming out potentially over the next 1 to 2 weeks. And the moment that we do reach a bottom here on the daily RSI, especially if we dip into oversold areas, that is usually one of the best buying opportunities that you could possibly ask for. And the last time we actually saw the daily RSI for Ethereum dip into those oversold areas was back in March 2020, when we saw Ethereum crash down to $90. That is right, $90. And just to give you guys an idea of how good that buying opportunity was, what came next in the Ethereum price over the next 400 days approximately was a 4,500% gain. So obviously that doesn't mean we're going to see that exact same gain, but what it does mean is, historically speaking, when we enter towards the bottom of these RSI bands here on the daily time frame, those are usually pretty good opportunities to pick up some cheap Ethereum. And that's simply a part of my strategy right now. Once again, in the shorter term, potentially over the next few weeks or so, I am still leaning a little bit more bearish on the current trend, because clearly we are still in this downtrend. But right now, I am dollar cost averaging into both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I'm preparing even more for this coming opportunity, because once again, if we dip down towards these lower price targets that I have in mind, I will go much more heavier into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and potentially some top altcoins as well. But something else to quickly note is, of course, bringing out the Fibonacci retracement tool here on the daily time frame. As you can see here, we've got the golden pocket, the most important Fibonacci level, coming in at around 2.6K. So that could provide a bit of support here before we even make it down to those price targets towards around 2.3 to 2.4 thousand. And quickly checking out the Ethereum funding rates across all of these exchanges right here. As you can see, right now, the funding rates on exchanges for Ethereum and a lot of the top cryptos as well are sitting in negative funding rates. And if there's a negative funding rate on one of these exchanges, that just means that on that exchange, the majority of positions are short positions compared to long positions, which, by the way, for the beginners out there, a short position is basically betting on the price going to the downside. So if the price goes to the downside, you're actually making money. And when the majority of people open new short positions, it actually becomes more and more expensive to maintain those short positions due to these negative funding rates that go even more negative the more short positions are opened. And if you're wondering where that money actually goes, well, when we're in negative funding rates, the short positions actually pay the long positions money to keep those short positions open. So this negative funding rate mechanism is right now putting extra pressure on anyone shorting Ethereum. So if the price stops going to the downside and even just goes sideways, the short positions in that case are losing money. And obviously when you're closing a short position, you have to buy back into the underlying assets. So if you want to close an Ethereum short, you need to buy back into Ethereum, which will obviously help push up the price of Ethereum if a lot of these short positions actually close. But anyway, that's just about everything I have to say for this video today. I hope you all enjoyed and I hope you got something valuable out of this video. And if you did, be sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you're not missing out on any of these future updates. And obviously, a lot of this analysis is building on top of previous analysis that I did over the last couple days. So for the new viewers on the channel that missed my last couple Ethereum videos, once again, definitely check those out after this video, because especially yesterday's video, a lot of the analysis is still pretty valid because nothing too crazy has happened over the last 24 hours. But anyway, that's really everything I have to say for this video. Once again, I really hope you enjoyed and I'll see you all in the next video.